Andy? How you doing? I am good.
Not yet, but I will. I'll be back.
What you and Judy were talking about, it sounded like
She loaned a book. Lynn brought it in, and there was a note inside the book that Lynn was supposed to give me, but Lynn thought she was supposed to give me the book. And then Judy asked me, since I had the book, if I wanted to read it. And I said, yeah, that sounds actually pretty good.
about like talking about don't get low, don't come from the mountain war stuff there.
It was his career, and the things that he had covered, and like he was the court correspondent to all of the trials, the Chicago stuff, all of it. I was supposed to be bringing it so that it was actually supposed to go to him first. I think you felt bad because I had it in my hand and she didn't offer it. So she offered it to me.
Like coverage stuff comes the way I mean. His son from I don't know how old his son was. Late teens, early 20s. y'all know. All that.
He mounted
Grew up. Never knew any of that.
Canada.
I was thinking that
Is
this
the
is somebody who's been to look at this. His mom, his dad was a fighter pilot in World War II. Okay. Pretty interesting stuff. And had an engineering company forever. Private pilot. The mom, in World War II, had an officer for the general. Soldier
younger people.
in every prisoner of war came into America after the war. Don't you know there's a story?
I'll bet.
I go, wow, you guys
You guys win.
write that down.
Oh.
You always do. I thought, man, that ought to be.
That sounds pretty interesting.
And her son never knew that. His grandson actually sat down.
See, and that's the
formally
sad
interviewed
thing.
him.
That's
Yeah.
the sad thing about a lot of that stuff is you don't know it because they never talk about it.
How long have you had it? Yes, and that reservation owns the land lake. Because you can't get the guy out there to sign off. Just wait on him to give me a official answer. It's local here. I mean, it may not be normal, but it is. He has not been easy to work with the entire time. I did, yeah. I did. Government entities.
So Dan, I heard you say you got an e-bike. What did you get?
I didn't know that the bike, neighborhood bike shop had a Cannondale, Montera, Neo, Carbon 2. I haven't gotten to try it yet. It's in my office waiting for the trail to.
Do not start it in the high range.
Really? Okay.
I learned that.
They didn't find
I
out.
always tell my buddy, wipe out the car underneath the car because it was so much faster.
It was in turbo.
It's crazy how fast it will go off.
I'll start off in discussion.
I would definitely see that. But even that was impressive.
But it's the Oklahoma, yeah. So it's kind of happened. They investigate. They help.
the new bike and then the new carrier that's heavy enough for e-bike. I got on Amazon about it. Already talked to my wife to get the bike. I said, maybe I'll go see it, maybe a mistake, and I have to go buy a nice one eventually.
You know.
Bill, how are you?
We need each other. I mean, we've been friends for so many years. I was just going to buy something. Like, one thing I think your baby. Where do you like?
It's interesting. I know the fitter has a bike rack and a bike.
It does.
Okay. Nope, I have no reason to do it. I do not. Yeah. But I'm through this one counterpart.
They don't operate like it. So it's hard to say how they handle it. They're focusing on training they're not looking for any year out. Most of these conferences are looking for 3 years out. So that's been a challenge for us. They're doing okay. They have different metrics and indicators that
And if I can be by the end of the year, then I would.
Let's ask him. I bet he didn't do it.
But we're actually in like 12 different countries and stuff, so it's kind of cool. We have like 40 hours on the market, so it's like, wow. I know. Can you travel?
Well, it's definitely that.
I am not on the travel list.
Yeah, it's all official. I turned in the old keys this morning. Officially.
Bigger, but the limiting factor there is you need an extra space. It's a big break. Plus the whole breakout. But they are it's hard for us to get it into that there. My sales manager, sending them down. No, we don't have those.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Rotary on April 23rd, 2026. We're going to take a moment of silence to reflect or pray. Okay, our flag salute is going to be led by Corey Dockett and Stephen Miranda as our four-way test.
All right, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And of the four things we think, say, or do, 1,
Is
Is
it
it true?
2,
Is it
There is
better?
all concern.
3,
Will it build goodwill and energize?
4.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And yes, it's fun. Okay. We have a couple of guests today. Steve Wood, you have a guest.
I have with me today, she's been here before, but from the health department, and that was for our health indicators, and she's got a little 15, 30-second little spiel she wants to give to the group.
Start that timer now. So I'm Pat Willis. I'm back to say hello. I was actually at Story Palooza a few weeks ago as Miss Frizzle. You may have seen my inflatable lungs. Those are actually going to be blown up again next week, which is May 1st, for a health fair. We'll have a lot of other organs. We'll have a colon arch, a kidney, the lungs, a heart, and we will have this health fair. There are save the dates on each table. There's also underneath a volunteer list, so if you know anybody who would like to volunteer, if you would like to volunteer yourself, the screenings will actually begin at 10 o'clock and go till 6. The main health fair will be 3 to 6 p.m. and we will have a bike giveaway, free bike helmets, and all sorts of screenings for all ages. So we hope that you can come and share the word. Many of those health screenings are free. There might be a handful, like the mammogram, lung CT, van that may have to go through insurance and eligibility, but most of the screenings are going to be free for the public. Okay?
Thank you. Okay. We have a student of the month with us, and she's going to be introduced by Mary Jenkins.
So we are privileged today to have Ronnie Kang of Norman High School with us, and she's going to talk a little bit about her plans after high school.
Thank you. That's a lot of new faces, and I'm so excited to be here again. After high school, I plan to major in neuroscience on the pre-med track at Johns Hopkins in hopes of becoming a physician. Thank you.
I know that we have another guest face in here, but we'll introduce her a little bit later. So, just a couple of quick announcements. We set our all-club picnic and companion club launch for May 13th. So I want you to start thinking about who might be a good candidate for you to invite to join our companion club. That will be an evening club. That club will get to decide, they're part of our club. I'll just say that group of our club will get to decide when they meet and what day they meet and how often they meet. But it's designed to encourage people to join our club that might not otherwise be able to join a noon meeting. So an evening club for teachers or people who just cannot make the lunch meeting for some reason. We would love to have you be part of our club, and we will work with you to set times that work better in your schedule. So that's what the point of the companion club is. Part of our club just meets at a separate time. So think about who might be a good candidate for that, and if you can get that date on their calendars, that would be really great. Again, it's May 13th. We have no giveaways this week. Are we cool? All right. If you signed up, please be there early in the morning tomorrow. Okay, I do want to remind you that last week we recognized our Paul Harris Fellows and donors. I know he does not want me to do this, but I do feel that it's important to recognize our 2 major donors. We're the only club with major donors, and I think it's important that you understand the importance of that and for them to be recognized. So Neil Shimmer is one and Steve Wood is the other. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, we have an announcement from Jamie. Latoria.
Good afternoon. Latour event is coming up. It's going to be on August 22nd at the Cleveland County Event Center in their newly renovated space. It'll give us a little more elbow room this year, which we're very excited about. The Doan has placed sponsorship packets on your table. One thing we did update this year is all sponsors will have a guaranteed seat. We love that. So if you really want a seat, you know what to do. Sponsor. If you have any questions about that, please let us know, but we look forward to another successful year. Again, our beneficiary is Bridges of Norman, and we would really like to come close to that $100,000 commitment. Last year we just fell a couple $1,000 short, but this year I feel like we can get that full $50,000 for them. Thank you.
Everyone standing there with your key.
Hi. I'm gonna catch my breath. I came from the. Yeah. Anyway, I came from another event. I'm so sorry. Food and Shelter. I was having a luncheon today too, so I apologize. But I got here as fast as I could and just in time to present Jamie Swain for the president-elect pin finally. Yay! But now it's all worked out. There you go.
All right. Yes, in 2 months you will have a new president. So. Okay. Anything that I missed? Visitors, announcements, anything else? Well, I'm going to call Craig up here. Craig's going to introduce our guests today and our speaker.
Okay, Liz, I'm sorry, that's Liz. You know, you just can't get good help anymore. Holly McKinney started with Norman Public Schools in 2018, although she did teach at Norman Public Schools before that. She started working in the admin building in 2018. She started out as a music teacher, became principal at both elementary and intermediate schools, and then she came to Norman in 2018. She has her undergraduate degree in teaching was from UCO. She has a master's degree from Southern Pennsylvania University, where she graduated with honors, and she has a doctorate, so it's Dr. Holly McKinney. She has a doctorate from OU. And anyway, one of the most important things to me, I've been working with her since 2018, and she actually helped redirect our Rotary Success Cycle after COVID to concentrate on reading. So she was instrumental in helping that. And besides all that, she's just a wonderful person. So please welcome Holly McKinney.
That's great. Okay, so I'm going to push the wrong button. Let's see. Thank you so much for inviting me to come today. I love coming here. It's one of my favorite things to do in the year. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of update about the Success Cycles program. You can see we started it back in 2016. And so even though we took a 2020 off, I mean, we don't know for the reason why, I don't have to say it, right? This is the 10-year anniversary, so there's a lot to celebrate here. Yeah, here's something, my friends that have had the privilege of being involved on the school end since 2018. And after COVID, we did shift to a reading focus. It's an area of need. It will always be an area of need for a certain population of our students in our schools. And so excited to announce that since that shift in 2021, over 27,000 books have been checked out from the schools that participate in the Success Cycle. And that is both the physical book from our school libraries, as well as digital books from our school libraries or from the Pioneer libraries that we partner with. So that's huge. And even bigger than that is the amount of money that I know Craig has been instrumental, but every one of you as well has been instrumental in raising for Success Cycles, whether it's been bicycles or helmets or blocks, and more recently the Kindle Nooks and the books and the gift cards. So over $100,000 raised. You that also deserves a celebration. So give yourselves a hand. So why is reading important? I think everyone in this room can probably give your own personal reasons why you feel that reading is important. We know that we cannot be successful citizens or professionals without being able to read. But I looked up a little bit of research, is what I do. I just finished my doctorate literally on Tuesday, so I've been reading a lot about research. Thank you. Thank you very much. And three things stuck out about research that really aligns with the Success Cycles program. We know that when students read daily, they have better reading outcomes. And that's whether they're strong readers or maybe they're challenged readers. It doesn't matter. When they read every single day, it really does make a difference. Also, their motivation matters. They want to read things that they're interested in, or maybe that they will use a little bit of positive reinforcement to help motivate them, which is what the Success Cycles program also does. And then we know when children read for fun, they tend to score higher on the achievement tests and state tests. All three of those have a direct correlation to what you do and this program does in our participating schools. So who are they? We've got 9 schools, and you can see them up here. Each of these schools are what we call a Title I school, and they range from anywhere from about 78% free and reduced lunch to 100% free and reduced lunch. So what that means is about over half, about 3/4 of the students to almost all the students, come from families that have substantial needs. They may not have read before they got into school, may not have books at home to be able to access to read. They may or may not have parents that have the resources or the education background to know how to help them read if they're challenged. And so again, just want to layer on the importance of this program and how grateful we are to be able to continue to partner with Norman Rotary and Craig in this program. So you can listen to me all day, but really, I want to first introduce a video of Mr. Chris Correlia. He'll introduce himself. You'll get to hear from him, one of his teachers, and a few of his students that have been able to benefit from this program.
Hi, I'm Chris Curley. I'm the principal of Wilson Elementary, and I want to say thank you for allowing us to participate in the Rotary Read for Success program. Our students and teachers work really hard on improving reading achievement here at school. They set goals, and those goals can look really different depending on the student's background and depending on their grade level. But one thing that we can all do when we come together is celebrate. So I want to say thank you for providing the resources to allow us to do that. It was really fun for me to sit down this week and talk to the students about what it specifically meant to them. So I hope you enjoy hearing from our school, and once again, thanks for all you do.
So we actually have a lot of ways that we work with students. We'll read with them whole groups, some of it's done quarterly all together, and then we'll have small groups. And in those small groups, I'll notice some progress. Students who are just participating, they learn a new skill, have that aha moment, and then they're able to apply it. We also see some of that in our online platforms with Lexia, or reading their epic books. And so I just notice when they're making a lot of progress, like they learned a new skill and they've applied it. I see Lexia scores going up and levels being passed. And that's how I decide, boy, wow, this student's doing great, and I need to submit their name for all of their reading accomplishments.
My teacher was Miss Kendall last year, and I hope to become more fluently and pause whenever there's comments I was reading, and I was like, oh, what's this far? I'm like, he will like say that out loud. So it is and that's how now I know English. Last year, my teacher that helped me become a better reader was Miss McAllister, and my mother, because my mother wanted me to read a lot of the Sequoia books, and Miss McAllister, we needed to read books for the Sequoia Battle of the Books Challenge.
So, I mean, whenever those students accomplish it, I know that they have some internal, like, moments where they feel great about it, but also, just seeing them get that award, they don't know they're getting it. It's unexpected. I don't even know they're getting it. And so their name gets read, and I hear, Mrs. Shaw's class, 3rd grade, and then they say the name, and they're like, what? And they run up, and I've even had where, of course, I message the parent when they have some large prize, so the parent's like, why is this note coming home? Why did my child have a bicycle? So I tell them they were nominated for some of their reading successes, and they won this prize, and so of course the parents are really proud, and everyone's so excited. Even when you see a former student winning and they're not currently reading with me, I just know that those are big moments for them and their families.
Well, I got the award. I got excited. I didn't even know what they were going to call me, but it was like a surprise to me. And I got selected for an award. It was breathtaking because one, I never got one. And like, your heart just jumps up, and when they say your class, and then when they say your name, you just like jump up all like entirely, and I'm always like, please, and then when I got out, I was like, it's me. Okay, so last year, whenever she called my name, I'm like, what? I was not expecting that because I always hope to like say like person name or whoever, and then she was like, Nora Evans, and it was just amazing feeling that I was on myself. I never wanted that before.
So just 3 of the thousands of students that this program has been able to motivate and reward. So thank you for listening to that. I'd like to welcome a very special person, Hannah Simpson, who is the principal at Madison Elementary School, one of our schools that have been part of the program for the last 10 years. So I just wanted her to come and share her testimonial with you.
Good afternoon. Again, I'm Hannah Simpson, the proud principal at Madison Elementary, and I don't know where to begin on the impact that Rotary's had, not only as a teacher, but as a new school leader. When you are running a building and leading learners to love to read, looking out in the community and knowing that we have the Rotary Club standing behind us in order to promote such an incredible mission is really encouraging. It's been neat to see students enjoying your books in nooks. In fact, I have a personal story that happened this week. We're in the middle of state testing, one of our favorite things, and we have to collect those technological devices. And I was in a 5th grade classroom just this week, gathering cell phones. And a student had their Nook in their backpack, and I went to go take it. She said, wait, I want to read with that. Where are you taking that? True story. And it made me just really proud knowing I got to speak this week and share with you just the despair, me taking her Nook that she would use every night to read, and that she carried it with her on the bus into school, and that it was being used in the way that I know you hoped it would be. Just instilling that love of reading in students, encouraging them to want to grow their learning in reading. Hearing that these students are just waiting for their name to get called is just so neat. I look out and I see so many members of the Rotary Club that I know, and some that I don't, and I would love to get to know you, because knowing that community members believe in the mission in one of our schools makes that work easier and more meaningful. And so I really appreciate you, your time, your commitment to that mission, because truly our kids feel the impact of you as a community behind them, knowing that when they go somewhere, whether it's their local dentist or whether it's somebody in the community that pours back, that they see that you are standing with them, especially in a community where students have less resources, that they know that you're a resource for them because you're with them and partnering with them. So really and truly, I'm just really thankful for you and your commitment to Rotary Club. We have some members in the audience that have read regularly at Madison for a long time, some that come regularly on Fridays to hand out those Nooks, bikes and books. And it's been really neat to have their presence in our school in a regular way. So I encourage you to do that. If you're not connected to a local school, I encourage you to be a part of that. Seeing their faces when they get those books, Nooks and bikes, makes it come alive. These kids are hungry for learning. But what I heard Dr. McKinney share is that motivation is the undercurrent when we're trying to encourage emergent reading or a love of lifelong reading. And the opportunities and resources that you're providing is that motivation, that they have that to do it with. So I'm just so thankful. I can't say enough wonderful things about the Norman Rotary Club. You make an impact in this community and in my own life as I lead a school, and I'm proud to know that you're a partner with us. So thank you. If you have any questions for me, I know that we are going to have a section for that, but I would love to answer anything, as I know I speak quite quickly and I try to slow down, but when I'm passionate about a topic, I just can't help it, and I'm just really thankful for each of you. So are there any questions that I can answer about your schools? Yeah, I'm going to start up here and go work my way.
I've been going to school for 10 years full time. I started out in Lincoln, and Lincoln is no longer on the list. How does that feel? Why are they no longer? How does it change that?
That's a great question. When we first started 2 years ago, it was based on attendance and really increasing the attendance. And when we shifted to 21, we really looked at the state reading scores as well, the other reading benchmarks. Where was the need the greatest? And so that was the shift. So, and that's why Lincoln's not currently on the list.
Honestly, everyone should go to one of those assemblies.
I agree.
You see the teachers and kids respect each other, have fun, get quiet.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear what she said, is everyone should attend one of these schools and attend one of the assemblies. Now, in my former life that Craig talked about, I was an elementary music teacher, one of my former lives, and there is no greater joy than standing in a gym with all of the teachers and all of the students, and they are incredible. They'll sing together, they'll get loud together, they'll get quiet together, and it really does fill my bucket, and it's just really joyous. So I invite you all just to show up. If you need to know when, I'll point in the direction to when. Thank you. I know there's a question in the back. Yes, sir.
So what impact does the state reading standards have on your school?
And when students are working on their independent stamina and reading, having resources, high quality resources, not only at school, but at home, has definitely impacted the teaching of the standards. When you're trying to teach them a love of reading, if they're not able to carry that outside of school, you're losing that momentum. And so when you think about a big goal, like trying to inspire a kid to want to read forever, having that cyclical effect, right? That Rotary cycle where not only at school but also at home, you're able to delve into that love of reading. I definitely have seen an impact. The child that I was speaking about earlier is a great example, very personal example. I've had the privilege of being her principal for 5 years. She's been on what we would call a reading plan at least 4 of the 7 years of elementary. She's in the 5th grade. And I can proudly say with confidence that she's no longer on that reading plan and that she's doing really well. And I really do believe that a Nook is a part of that she knew you had her back, that you believed in her, and she was thrilled to get that Nook. Those are one of the ones that I remember her jumping for joy and going to get that, and uses it all the time. And she was picked with intention, knowing that that resource would impact her instruction individually and grow her so that she understands how important reading is in her learning. It's a great question. Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, to change the subject just a little bit. We know the current federal administration has cut back quite a bit on food programs for families in need. Is that starting to show up? Are we starting to see indications that that's an issue?
I'll mention something that Hannah can add to that. For Northern Public Schools, it's really important that every student eats. There is a program called CEP, Community. I'll get to the name of it. But basically, at our schools, I'm looking at Carla because you know she's going to help me as I'm thinking on the fly here. But we do have we had 9 schools that started on that 2 years ago, and now we have another 10. So 19 of our schools that the entire school, regardless, can come and eat free breakfast and free lunch. And so they don't have to fill out a form, they can just show up to school. Now the other schools we do have what's called the free reduced meal program that families can apply for. But even if we help them fill that out, because that helps us. But even if they don't have that, we ensure that no child is hungry in our schools. Thank you for that question. Community eligibility program. Thank you for that. It's good to have someone in your pocket over here. I appreciate it, Carla. That's awesome. Fantastic. Oh, and then
we also have a backpack program. Regional Food Bank is a fantastic place. Every kid that qualifies gets a large bag of food that we put in their backpack for the weekend. And if we know it's going to be a long weekend, we give them double. And a lot of schools also have resource nights or community care connect nights. We have one tonight at Madison, actually, where we open our school for food. We have a pantry that gets donations, as well as McFarland, a faith-based organization and church, donates that pantry as well. So we have kind of a wraparound service, just in case there's a larger family or some missed meals. So feeding our students in Norman is extremely important. It's very important to my staff personally. I can attest to that. And we show up every day and want to make sure those kids have their needs met.
And I'll add to that. And Dr. Nick is not here. I should have started and led with that. He really wanted to eat here. And he's in Tulsa doing what he needs to do as a superintendent. I'm not quite sure. But he's doing something very important over there. But he did. He sent his best wishes. And one of the things he says every time he has an opportunity to get in front of people is we wouldn't be able to do what we do in Norman Public Schools without our community partnerships. And the Norman Rotary always shows up big. So thank you. And we have lots of school community partnerships to make sure that all needs are met to the best of our ability. So thank you. We wouldn't be able to do that without you. And these are just some more smiles, some more joy. Past winners, either bikes or gift cards or Nooks. And again, we can't say it enough, open invitation. You're not going to check in the office. You'll get a visitor badge, just like we get one here. We would love for you to come out and just experience that joy. I know Craig's got the list of dates if you want a specific date and time. So really invite you to do that. And I know we're not here to talk about Storypalooza. But another way that Norman Rotary showed up big, so for 10 years, we've been pouring into our schools, whether it's been attendance focus or it's been reading focus. And I know, thank you to Liz, and thank you for Stephen and Craig and everyone else that had a hand in our very first Storypalooza. It was fantastic. So while Success Cycle focuses on 9 schools, this not only focused on Norman Public Schools, but anyone in Norman and the greater Oklahoma City area that wanted to show up, and I would happen to be there. Lots of incredible families, incredible stories. It's free to the public. So on Friday, with almost 1,000 first grade students, got to experience 2 different author visits. Talk about a vision on their future. It was amazing. They sang, they danced, they listened, they asked questions. They're fantastic. And then over 800 community members visited on Saturday. So wanted to plug that in and just say thank you so much for being a strong community partner with Norman Public Schools and just what you do to serve the broader community. And with that, just a huge thank you, and we are both open and available to answer any more questions you may have. Yes, sir.
Do I have a mic? Okay.
I can bring you this microphone. I don't mind.
I know her. This is a testimony and a question, but like when kids come in my office and they bring those big books in and read while they're waiting, those Harry Potter books and stuff, and then when they get in high school and they take that SAT, they all score perfect. So, I mean, it's like all the time. And so I didn't grow up reading in grade school, and my mother celebrated. Finally, I was 12, and I read the Joe Namath story. So she thought that was a big deal. She's an educator, and so my grandson gets read to every night. He's only 3 and 4. One night I was babysitting him and the Thunder game was on. I go, we're not reading tonight, we're watching the Thunder game. So I got in trouble for that. But my question comes, like that reading before they even get to school, like that is like every night my daughter does that. And you said 20 minutes, that seems like a long time for a 3-year-old. But tell me how that, I don't remember ever having that done, and my mother's an educator, or she was. So tell me the importance of that, and if that fits in.
Of 20 minutes?
Well, just anything. Is that really that important? Can we watch the Thunder game?
It just makes me smile because I have 2 grandbabies with me right now, and they are 4 and 2, and we read to them every single night. And 20 minutes sounds like a long time, but when you read their favorite books, and then what do they want to do? Read it again. Like, same one, night after night. Our daughter was like, can you go pick another book? We've read this 4 nights in a row. I'm like, no, this one. So it really goes by fast. But I will say, there are studies, and I'm not going to give you numbers, so I'm going to mess them up. But there are a lot of research that says from birth to school age, our brain develops so fast, and it is critical, not only for language development, but for cognitive development, to be able to read to our students. Even before they're able to identify or look at a picture, it is critical. And I will say our partnerships in Norman Schools or Norman Parents as Teachers really goes out and helps those families that are really at risk to help with those developmental milestones. Reading is one of those pieces. But we see it when we come in, and I'll let Hannah talk in just a second. When a student comes into preschool or kindergarten and they haven't had and been from a family that knew to have the importance of reading to them, they are so far behind in their vocabulary and what they understand. It's really hard to catch them up. So when you hear, I don't want to really talk politics, but when you hear how important early childhood is, really if we want schools to catch up and close the gaps, we've got to start from birth. We can't wait until they get to us. So you may ask them.
One of my favorite things to show parents during parent-teacher conferences is a graph that shows you the difference between a child who reads every night, one who kind of does, and one who never does. And the difference is that the student who reads every night 15 or 20 minutes has tens of thousands of words in their lexicon, in their library. And when children are 2 years old, they're going to acquire more vocabulary in that time of their life than they ever will again. It's the brain development that Dr. McKinney was talking about. And so, Dr. Bloom, while that game is going to bond you and your grandson, that reading, you can bring those vocabulary words in, right? We can talk about rebounding and defense with high vocabulary for sure. But that reading and finding a book that you both love, and your children seeing that you're reading and experiencing reading with you. I'm not a mother yet, but when my married friends ask me for advice about how to help their children, my number one thing I tell them, like, how do I help them? They hate school, is start reading yourself and or read with them. Something they love, and read it over and over. They'll start memorizing it, then they'll pick it up from memory and read it, and then they start finding them on their own. So reading, yes, important every night, even if it's just 10 minutes on halftime.
Commercial breaks, those commercial breaks can get pretty long. And I will say, and what happens when we read with our grandchildren or our children or even with a student, we get really close, right? And we spend some time, we put our devices down, and we just spend some quality time. So even the relationship piece increases when we read with the children. Great question, thank you. Any other questions?
Holly, I'll go to the other end of the spectrum with a 22 and an 18-year-old. They grew up, we read every night. We skipped Chiefs games, Bill, to read, no, I'm just kidding. High schoolers, they get these devices now, and they're in these all the time. How do you reinstall a love of reading to high schoolers, college kids, even older?
That's a really great question. I know as an adult, I will tell you, I did read, but I didn't read for pleasure until I was an adult. And now there's so many ways to access. I have a little bit of a commute from UConn. I am always listening to books or podcasts. So there are lots of ways as we mature to be able to get that and to think critically. But that's a really good question. I think really pouring into their interest. I know I had adult children. When they read, when they were a little bit older, they got to read what they were interested in, what they wanted to learn more about. They don't wait for us to teach them now. They go out and they find those things on their own. So, and I would love for Hannah to add anything to that.
I think that's a great point. They're going to go find it, and so teaching them how to find the right things is really essential. And so there's some incredible apps. Goodreads is one really incredible one. I know I have a twin sister, and we're super competitive, so seeing who's read more books in a year is a huge thing we fight over, I know. And so finding an app that can motivate and also cultivate essential information or high quality information, I think it's a tool that can be used for greatness or the opposite, but reading is one of the things that can do really well. There's also some apps that bring the book, I don't love this as much, but into a movie that can help a different learner. And I can give you some references for those, but using it as a tool to elicit higher interest and finding higher quality information, I think is the best way, but that's a really good question.
I will add on to that. Our high school librarians are really amazing, and they are such experts about bringing students in. If you will go to one of our high schools, there are students in the library all the time, but especially during that lunch break. And they're really good about, okay, so what are you interested in? All right, come over here, let's help you find something. And so even for high school level, our libraries are the hub and the central of our school, and I love that about Norman Public Schools.
Sometimes I've presented nooks and the students seem confused about what they are and how they operate. And is there follow-up to have those students get into this and load it with books and all that?
That's a fabulous question. I know you could speak to that.
That's a really good question. That's important to me. I keep a list of the kids that get the nooks, and I follow up with them and their parents. We do reach out, and I set up one-on-ones with our librarian and the child kind of tech specialist, and they'll sit down and download those books. That's been the best way to ensure it's used for the reasons intended, that there's nothing getting in their way. They know how to charge it, they know how to do all the great things, but really sitting down with the family and the child, it does require that follow-up. Because in that box, as a child, I would have been over the moon, but the technology is so broad that they are not quite sure. We do want it to be a surprise. And so I always try to go back and tell them, hey, you know why you earned this, right? You worked really hard. I want you to keep working hard. Let's get this working so you can do that. It's a great question.
I will tell you, it also comes, Amanda Kordowski, who's our Director of Libraries and Instructional Technology. They've created a step-by-step guide that comes with the nooks as well in English and in Spanish, so that way if they have a hard time coming up to the school, they also have that to go by that shows them how to download, how to access all the free books from SOAR in our school libraries as well as the Pioneer libraries. Good question. Yes, ma'am.
I lived in many foreign countries, and my daughter was young as we lived overseas. And the first country was Mexico City, and I watched her struggle because they taught a lot of their subjects in Spanish, and so then we moved to other countries. And so my question is, with the international students coming into the Norman public schools, do you have that issue here, or do you have assistance when kids don't know English? I know they learn fast, but I just wondered if you deal with that here.
We absolutely do, and actually our English learner population has vastly increased over the past 10 years, from students that come who speak, they're bilingual, as well as students who have come over that speak and families that speak zero English. And so we do have specific teachers and resources for those families and for those students. Most recently, we started over at Trim Primary a Spanish Language Academy. So we have a language acquisition. And so they're taught everything but reading from pre-K 1, and next year we're going pre-K kindergarten, first grade this year was the first year. Next year we're going to add second grade. We're going to roll those families up, their students up. And they're taught every single subject in Spanish except for reading, so they get the foundation of reading. And it is, Hannah talked about a sponge in there too. Even when they are 4, 5, 6, 7, it is incredible how they can pick that up. But yes, for those families that come here, that move to Norman or move to Oklahoma, who English is not their first language, we have lots of supports for them.
I will say too, Liz and a few other principals and I sat together and talked about part of your Rotary Cycle and how it could be even more impactful. And one of the changes we made this year was that when students earned the book, they got to walk away immediately with the book. And I really liked that. That immediate connection. And she solicited our librarians, who are incredible in Norman, and they gave her a curated list based off of not only student interest, but Madison Elementary is very diverse. We have 19 different languages. Urdu, Pashto, you name it. And so we're really proud of that, but having our library reflect our learners is really important. We want them to acquire English, but we want them to see themselves in our books. And so allowing the librarians to pick those books so that no matter who earns the award, they walk up and they're like, oh, I can connect with this. And students growing their love of learning is helping us get more of those books in our buildings. And so it's definitely something that Norman Public Schools supports, and we continue to cultivate and grow our bilingual libraries to represent all kids for sure.
Any other questions? Well, we will hang around for a little bit, so if you want to come up, we would love to talk with you. Thank you so much for letting us bring out today.
We are very excited to partner with Norman Public Schools and all that we do with Success Cycle. And I just will throw this out there. When I was doing some research for Storypalooza, and I was looking at those studies that talk about how important it is to read from birth on. One of the studies, because this number sticks in my head, up to 1.4 million words is the difference between a kid who has been read to from the time that they were born, 15, 20 minutes a day, to kids who aren't read to. So I mean, it would be very hard to make up that difference once you get to school. So read to your kids, read to your grandkids, it's great. We are so excited to hear that this is going well for you guys. So yes, many years to come, maybe partner with you guys. So thank you very much for being here today, for filling us in, giving us some updated information. Want to thank our guests, Ronnie, for being here, and Kat, there you are. Thank you for being here. Come back anytime, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.